Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Etheria restart video. So in today's video, guys, we are going to go over a Hell 4 Terrormaton team. I know it's not Inferno, you got to give me a little bit of time for that. But this team, I think, is pretty solid, and I think the characters that you're investing in are good in a bunch of different places, which is why I wanted to show it. Now, I do have to say a couple things here based on some prior comments that I got in other videos, okay? The first one is I've gotten comments like, oh, this is definitely free to play with all the lattices and stuff like that. I have never claimed that it's free to play. The point of this is to show you that if you have certain heroes early and you invest your lattices in them and not spread it out, you can use them in different areas and be as efficient as you can with some RGBs that people might, not be aware of. They might be flying under the radar. So yes, it's going to take time to build these things up, but I think people also need to remember that this is almost as far as you can get in PvE with your endgame. So it should take some heavy investment. So that's one thing. I've never claimed that it's free to play. I try and give you some of the easier options to invest in, but yeah, there are times where I've found that certain SSRs really benefit from tons of lattices. That shouldn't be surprising. So the second thing is I've had some people say that the only reason I'm able to build these teams is because I have modules from using LD characters. That is also not true. I've progressed through the game without Lily. And whenever I've gotten enough gear that was good enough to level up to increase my damage, then I used Lily to speed things up and get things faster. So if you want to knock me for that, you can, but actually getting to the point, I had to use other heroes other than Lily because Lily amplifies the damage of your damage dealer. If your damage dealer isn't worth squat, then Lily doesn't do much for you. So don't think that the LD characters are still some kind of loophole and what I'm showing you now is only because of them. It's simply not true. If you guys have a suggestion on how I can show you that, I would love to hear it. I know some people might suggest like a free-to-play account, and that's fine. It's just that will take a while for me to eventually do because I think most people know that all the content is gated. It's a really big grind, but if that's what you guys want to see, I could do it, okay? So with that out of the way, let's talk about the Terrormaton team, okay? So here is our team. It is 4 SRs and 1 SSR. And the SSR is not an LD. Now let me get my face out of here real quick so I can show you who the other one is. So it's Chloros. But I will say that if you don't have Chloros and you have Leon, Leon might be just as good in here because this team actually puts up a lot of buffs. So her damage will be really amplified. I will, I'll go into detail about the character builds and things like that at the end of the video. And in all honesty, a lot of this stuff isn't even optimized. But I wanted to show this team as well because a lot of these heroes are used in a bunch of other places. So even if they have some heavy investment, like Chiaki certainly has heavy investment, so does Kachi the Guard. It's not necessarily something that you need to do. Like if you only want to put lattices into one or a few skills, try that. See if you can pass. But what I have found is a lot of these things really matter at this high of stage. Every single bit of stat counts. Okay, let's get into the run. And we'll talk about it as we go, and then we'll talk about some of the gear and stuff. So I always like to target this head on the left, mainly because he puts the defense down up, and this is a huge issue with the Terrormaton. He can kind of one-shot people if he puts the defense down on the right hero. So you definitely want to get him out of there. Kachi the Guard is in here for that reason, as well as some other reasons. So Terrormaton also has a turn meter pushback and a AoE speed down. So if you have immunity up, like right here, that won't happen. So it helps keep your team chugging along. The Fangus is here for a couple of reasons. He has AoE speed down, which is one of the strongest debuffs in the entire game. It should not be overshadowed. On top of that, he has DOT, so DOT is very strong at this stage, and he also allows for more hits, like on this left head or the boss itself, to pair with Chloros. So his follow-up attacks keep ticking down the doom toll of Chloros' debuff here. So every time he goes in and does a follow-up attack, it ticks this down a bit, so you're getting more follow-up attacks from Chloros, which is really nice. The Chiaki is in there to keep the team healthy, and that Origami Guardian reducing the damage taken is really key because Chloros is quite squishy. He doesn't have any lifesteal in his kit like Leon does, but he does hit harder, especially once he ramps up a bit more. But as you see here, like the defense up, the origami stacks, the immunity, all of these things really help us keep this team quite safe. And the Chloros, even though he's not landing the DOTs all the time or following up all the time, it's enough. Kachi the guard there also has a turn meter pushback and speed down. So like all of the things are really meshing well here. The Valerian has the shields. She has, death immunity just in case you get into a position where maybe the boss hit a little too hard. But yeah, so you see that Fangus sometimes gets resisted. His skill 1 isn't leveled at all. That makes this more consistent. His skill 3 isn't fully leveled. The only thing that's leveled up right now is his follow-up attacks at 50% rate. So yeah, that's basically the run. There were some times there where it got a little testy, right? It was close to failing. So that's where some of the HP defense on your Chloros or your Fangus might matter a little bit. And that's an okay piece. I wouldn't say it's great. This one is flat HP, so it's also not great. Okay, so that's the run. I always suggest attacking the left head. I have done some runs where you just go for the main boss, and it does clear, but it fails a lot too. So that's not consistent enough. I think if you level up the Fangus to 6-star or increase some of his lattices, then you might be able to do that more consistently for faster runs. All right, so let's show the heroes, right? So that was a pretty clean run. If you attack the left head on this team, it's as close to 100% as I think. I've done tons of runs and it really hasn't failed. Okay, so Chloros is one of your main damage dealers here, but I do think it can be Leon. So the modules that I have him on are Onslaught, Fury, and Momentum. And I know a lot of people are going to think that this gear is good. It is, but this has been progressively something that I have farmed, okay, from all of the stages, and it does take time to build up. So if you can't farm Terrormaton just yet, go back and farm Doki Doki more. Go back and farm, Aurora more, Hell 2, Hell 3 if you can farm it, Hell 3 of Terrormaton if you can farm it. But you'll gradually work up to this where it's 100%. You might not get 100% clears right away. And the gear requirements might not be this high. It's just what I have on the heroes, but I do want to show them to you. So our momentum is attack percentage with some decent rolls on the crit rate and crit damage, but the defense percentage here probably matters a little bit as Chloros was close to dying, so if you didn't have that, maybe you would have. He's got crit damage with flat attack, attack bonus, and speed, and then he's got crit rate with crit damage and attack. The effect accuracy kind of matters a little bit because he does have a debuff on his skill 2. Here he's got crit rate, flat attack, speed, and a little bit of defense. Here he's got attack, speed, HP, and crit rate. And here he's got crit rate, crit damage, effect accuracy, and flat HP. So I like Fury as the max matrix here just because I want consistent damage. I want consistent runs. I don't want something to proc or, run out of steam like how I think it's Momentum. No, not Momentum. It's the set that drops from Terrormaton. Keen Eye. I don't want to run Keen Eye. So Fury is just consistent landing of your crits with the amount of time that he procs the Doom Toll, and that's kind of what I wanted. So his skill 3 fully leveled up. The Doom Toll transferring to the main boss once you kill the left head is kind of important. I don't know if he's able to, kill this boss without this. Like I said, I can't really test that, but that's what I have working for me. And then the other 2 prowess materials are leveled up here. So I did pull an extra copy, so he does get an additional attack, defense, and HP. You do have to also keep that in mind. I'm also working on additional characters or copies of him from Union. Do not underestimate that, guys. To try and get, additional crit damage and things like that. I'm going to keep leveling him up because I think he's one of the answers for Inferno as well. So his shell is White Fang. I actually really like White Fang for a couple reasons, but his 2 matrices here are Fury and Momentum. This really helps with building that additional crit rate for Momentum because you only need 1/3 matrix piece, which is really nice. So if you get just 1 piece and you have the right matrices on your shell, it's kind of easier to build, your characters like this. But I like White Fang because he does the 2 additional hits. This is something that I definitely want in my Chloros because the more hits that are hitting the boss, the more times Doom Toll is going to activate. I've had this shell for a long time. So it's got attack percentage here, crit rate, and then increases the Animus's final damage by 2.5%. So these rolls aren't even amazing. Like, it's not all red. It's not all yellow. I did get a good crit rate roll here. But yeah, this is what I'm rocking with Chloros. Now, Valerian, I have showed a couple times, but I'll show her again. She is just built very tanky with high HP. She does have her skill 3 up to level 5, which is really important. You should not use her unless it's level 5 because you need her to start in that Hazy Dream. So I have her in just Wellspring. That's what she's using right now with HP percentage basically everywhere. A little bit of speed, which isn't very important. Her shield is only level 9, actually, and her helmet is still only level 12, so bringing that up to level 15 would help. And she just has some random piece on here that does really nothing for her kit other than enable the Wellspring. The shell that she has on is Swift Rush Bloodbath, so it does absolutely nothing for her. But she does have a little bit of HP on this, and it does increase the shields. What is the best piece to put on her is probably Artisan. But I have Artisan on my Tsukiyomi, so I'm not even, like I said, min-maxing this. This is also only level 30, so I can get more HP. I can get another passive effect that maybe helps this run even more. The shells is where it's at, guys. But once she snaps out of the Hazy Dream, if she ever takes more than 20% HP, she'll heal it back and then boost her turn meter, because when she's in Hazy Dream, she can't. So that is her. The prowess, like I said, is just on skill 3, and then I leveled up the skill 2. And she is like max copied here. So her shield is bigger. She has more attack and defense. Her res is whatever, but the damage taken is also less. Same thing with Kachi the Guard. So he's got effect accuracy from there, as well as the damage taken and the HP defense and attack. So my Kachi the Guard I use in a lot of places. I've talked about him ad nauseum. I have his own video. I think this character is absolutely amazing. I'm using him everywhere. So I have him almost fully skilled up. Now, I don't think you need him to be this skilled up to clear Hell 4. But in other stages of the game, like Inferno stages for Doki Doki, for, what's the other one? Nico Nana, Inferno shell stages, even maybe other shell stages at Inferno, I might use him. So I need him as fast as I possibly can, which is why the skill 1 is leveled up where it is. He gets 9 speed from this prowess. And his skill 2 is really great. Like a turn meter pushback with speed down. It's a great ability. A lot of people look at this skill and know it's very good, but do not discredit this skill as well. It's awesome. So I have him in Swift Rush, and the shell I'm using him on is Codex of Magic. Now, I actually don't think this is best in class. I think what you should be running on him is Halloween with Swift Rush and Time Weave. I think that's the best thing. However, my Codex is already built up with the effect accuracy and a really solid third passive. So until I build up more Halloweens and better shells, he's working on this. But he doesn't take a whole lot of advantage from the Codex of Magic. Yes, he gets his skill 3 twice at the beginning of the run, but if he was on Halloween, I think he'd actually loop back around to his skill 3 more often. And for sure, if you pair him up with a 12 Swift Rush, 12 Time Weave. But we've just got him on Swift Rush right now. So he's got effect accuracy, because you need his effect accuracy really high. Same thing here. And then he's got HP with some speed. This is a really nice piece. Here, he's got some effect accuracy and speed with defense. Very great speed roll there with some HP. And then here, effect accuracy and speed. So that is the Kachi, like I said, fully skilled up, skill 3. He gets effect accuracy from that wheel. He gets defense here. And then he gets the 9 speed here. So that is Kachi the guard. Next up is, let's do Fangus last. So the Chiaki. I pulled Chiaki extremely early, and I've just used her everywhere and continued to invest in her. So her skill 3 is fully leveled up. This is really important for a couple reasons. The first one is that it increases her healing effect, like the boost, but once you get to level 5, the amount of stacks that you put on from this skill 3 of Origami Guardian is 2 stacks. So 2 hits will have 35% damage reduction. I'm running her in Gigabyte, but there is a possibility where Codex of Magic is quite good on her as well, because you can just stack up those Origami Guardians and then also increase the timeline of them with your Kachi the Guard. So that is another thing that you could possibly do. Her skill 2 is not leveled up. There is some merit to leveling this up, and maybe I need to do it for Inferno, because I think she's going to help me clear Inferno as well. Her skill 2 will go on a 3-turn cooldown. Her healing effect boosts, and she puts 3 stacks of the Origami Guardian up on somebody, which I think is a game changer. So her on Codex of Magic, her on Halloween as well, with maybe Cure or Wellspring and Swift Rush, is a nice option. But those are her skills. Her modules right now are Strive and Swift Rush. So on the right side, we got HP with speed. You need her to go really fast, because she needs to keep looping back around to make sure she does the AoE heal with the Origami Guardians, or you're going to wipe. So she really needs to be fast. It's HP everywhere. I'm even missing speed on some of these pieces, so they're not fantastic. This one's pretty good, though, with 5 speed here. The Strive set, I have a little bit of speed, defense, and effect res. This is all nice. She has speed on this Swift Rush piece, and she's got some speed on this Swift Rush piece as well. The Strive set is actually quite good here if I could get it to 8, because after she's attacked, she advances her turn meter even more. So she'll have Gigabyte, and she'll have the Strive set. So I think that's a pretty good kind of build for her. I think Wellspring's all right for the healing aspect. But Swift Rush and Strive, I also like as well, if I can get the 8-piece over here. Her shell is kind of tying into that as well. I just don't have good enough Strive pieces at this point in time. The Gigabyte is even unawakened, so if I wanted more turn meter boost, I could, to make that a little more of a safer run. but she's got an HP roll here. She's got a speed roll here. And she's got, if she's the fastest on the team, she reduces the damage taken. I don't think she's the fastest. I'm pretty sure it's Kachi the guard. So this is doing nothing, but I use this on other heroes. So that is Kachi. Now, when it comes to Fangus, Fangus is certainly going to 6-star next because I think he's the answer to Inferno. I also think, well, I know he makes Nico Nana Inferno much easier than using like a Shiata. So I've replaced Shiata for him in my in my Nico Nana team. But I want to get him to 6-star to make him a little tankier, make him faster, and maybe change up his build. But yeah, so this is the Fangus. His skill 3 is not maxed. His skill 2 is the only thing that is maxed, and his skill 1 is untouched. So Fangus, I think, is another one of those heroes that you should fully invest in. He's going to be quite bad early on, but as you start progressing through the game, he'll be way better. He's still somewhat useful in the early game just because he has the AoE speed down, and you can build him as a damage dealer. So you don't necessarily have to have him as a daughter at the beginning stages. He can just be a really solid sub DPS that puts up speed down with his follow-up attacks. But I think he needs all of his skills leveled up, especially for the Inferno stages, because when he's following up and his DOT chances are only 20%, he gets resisted a lot. So you really need to level this up, and then having this on a 3-turn cooldown with also having the percentage chance being 100 is huge. You really need all of it. So that is the downside to Fangus, but he's great on the very high stages of these module dungeons and shell dungeons. So I have him in Time Weave and Swift Rush. He's got HP here with speed and effect accuracy. He's got effect accuracy with speed here. And here he's got HP with speed. On the left side, he has a very nice speed roll. Over here, he has HP and speed. And then on this one, he's got speed as well. So that's Fangus. I already showed you the prowess, but this prowess also gives him more speed, which is nice. This one gives him effect accuracy, which is quite good. And then this one gives him a little bit more tankiness. The shell that I'm using him on right now is Gigabyte. He's on Cure Time Weave. I'm trying to find a Swift Rush Time Weave piece for the same reason. But I also think his best shell is this little guy here, Golden Lion. So I think if I can farm a Golden Lion piece with 9 matrices, I'd most likely run him, and I have to check the archive here to see if he even has that. But I would love if he had. So he has Battle Will, Swift Rush. Okay. It would be nice if he had Time Weave. It's not the end of the world. Bramble's another option as well, where you're just getting as much DOT counterattacks as you possibly can. This one's probably best in slot if you could get one because it's the speed up. But I think in the end, I might run him Swift Rush with Battle Will, as that extra attack on Battle Will is really good with Fangus. Just more dots here and there. But yeah, the Golden Lion's really great because every 2 times that he uses his skill 1, he puts up, he increases his damage and his effect accuracy. So he can get 40% effect accuracy on top of that. That is big. So yeah, guys, that is the team. Again, I know it's long, but I'd like to go into detail. The Gigabyte, though, does have Shadow Dash, it's got HP, and it has the increased effect accuracy. So it has good passives on it, and it's working for me right now. But yeah, guys, that's the team. Hopefully I'll have an Inferno team for you here soon, maybe in a week or so, without any LD SSRs, and we'll go from there. But as always, I appreciate you checking out the video. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll catch you on the next one. See ya.